Okay, so here I am attempting my first carrier landing. This is a case 1 landing. Visibility is good, and I can see for 5 nautical miles or more. So the idea is we're going to fly around the carrier, come back to the stern, put the gears down, put the flaps down, and then hopefully get my angle of attack at 8.5 degrees and land nicely on the carrier. That's the theory anyway. Let's see what happens. Okay, so hook down, anti-skid off. Okay, let's find the carrier. Okay, it's over there somewhere. Let's get rid of those symbols if we can. Okay, ideally I should be contacting the carrier now, requesting to land. I should also be setting up my course and my heading so I can get a good angle on the runway, but it just hasn't got time to do all that. I should also set my FCS up on the right display so I can see what my angle of attack should be. Too much going on. Oh, there we go, we do that. Okay, where is it? Where is it? There it is. Okay, so these figures at the bottom show my angle of attack of my left wing and my right wing. And ideally, when we land, they should both be around 8.5, 8.3, I think. Anyway, so here we go, around the carrier for the first attempt. So we should be about roughly 2,000 feet and going about 350 knots. So I'm a bit slow and I'm a bit low. Okay. Then once we're past the carrier, we need to do a left turn at approximately 3.5 G, or 10% of our speed really. And that should give us a nice alignment along the starboard side of the carrier. Okay, not quite there, not quite there, not quite there. Oh, okay. And it should bring us down to about 800 feet and parallel to the carrier. Okay, so nice altitude. We need to now come back down to 250 feet so we can drop the gear and raise the flaps. Once we do that, we can then turn around again to face off the stern of the carrier, get our angle of attack at 8.3 degrees and get our speed right for a gradual descent onto the deck, with our arse pointing down so the hook grabs the arrestor wire. Okay, that's the theory. Anyway, okay, I'm a bit low, I'm a bit slow. Gear and the flaps are down. Okay, so here we go. Oh, I think I'm going a bit slow. I'm going to stall it, I'm going to stall it, I'm going to stall it. Power on, power on, power on, power on. Oh, okay, nearly baff there. Okay, right, so let's get our angle of attack sorted if we can. Got to using trim to get the heading indicator into the middle of the E bracket, the bottom of my hood there. Okay, and once that's there, I just need to use throttle to control my altitude, and a bit of left and right stick to get my heading right. Okay, I'm all over the place. All over the place. Okay, so that's my angle of attack. 8.4, 8.5, that's fine. That's fine. A bit much, 8.7. Okay, it's gone a bit high. Need to trim down, trim down, trim down. There we go. Well, coming at the carrier a bit too straight on. Okay. Okay, the carrier is over there somewhere. Okay, no, we are going to miss. We're going to try and adjust it. Yikes, 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 yikes. Okay, no, now we're a bit high. Bit high. We're at completely the wrong angle. Get out of the way! I'm coming in! Okay, no, I'm going to miss the hook. I'm going to miss the hook. There we go. Go around, full power, full power. Oh, just off the end. Full power, we're going to have to put our gear up and our flaps down. Let's sort out the trim. The trim's now sorted for an angle of attack. Bring the trim down. Okay, our angle of attack has got back down to 0. It's got a bit low now, but never mind. Okay, so put our gear up, flaps to full. Okay, flaps to auto rather, and we're going to go around. So we're going to try that again. We need to get to around 2,000 feet. We need to get to about 350 knots. A nice leg down the starboard side, the ports, yeah, the starboard side of the carrier. Okay. As we go around the bend. Okay, so let's try that again. Carrier's off to our left. There he is. So we're going to go past him. We're going to pull a turn to the left. Again at 10% of our speed. So somewhere around 3.5 G. Okay, so here's our speed. Here's our G counter. We ideally want to be at 10% of that. Because then gives us a good angle of turn. We just have to pull the stick quite a little, but at the same time I'm trying to keep the height as well. So I'm not going to stall it. Okay, not quite got the G's there. Oh well, it'll do. Okay. So, back up to 2,000 feet or thereabouts. 350 knots. And we'll attempt to do that all again. There we go. Hello, carrier. I'm on my way. Don't worry, we'll do it this time. Okay, so just going to get down to 350 knots. We're past the carrier now. Here we go. We're leaving a 3.5 G. See if we can get there. 2.5, 2.7. There we go. Nearly. Keep going. Bit much. Okay, we're still going round. There's the carrier there. Okay, right. Ideally, you hardly ever look at the carrier when you're doing this because you know where you are if you're a good pilot. But I'm not a good pilot. Right, so once we've got a decent way past the carrier, ideally it's half a mile to a mile, but I'm probably going to go a bit further than that because it takes me longer to sort myself out. And again, we're going to get down to 250 knots. We're going to drop the gear and the flaps. There goes the gear. There goes the flaps. Right, okay, we'll put some speed in this turn this time so we don't nearly go in the sea. So we're turning round. not so much of a tight turn this time because we actually want to be just past the ship, because the runway on the ship doesn't actually go straight from bow to stern. It kind of goes off at an angle. Here we go, nice speed. We should ideally be coming down at about 500 feet. That's nearly about right. Okay, now we got to get our angle of attack right. So we're trying again to get trim up, trim up, trim up, trim up, trim up. Drop the speed. So now we want to lose some altitude, but not too much. Trim down a bit more. Let's see, our angle of attack is around about 8.3, which is just about right. That puts us arse down. Okay, so now we've got to try and gently bring it down with a little bits of throttle. Little bits of throttle, and try to avoid overcorrecting. Which causes pilot-induced oscillation, where you end up bouncing around all over the place because you're overcorrecting, then overcorrecting again, then overcorrecting. Anyway, we are coming in a bit too fast. Our downward speed should really be about 200 max. Here we go, we're coming in now. Coming on, we get 2 green lights on the golf ball, which is strange really, because we're coming in really wrong. Anyway, we'll try and land. So we're going to drop it, then put full speed on, just in case we have to go around. Here we go, dropped, and caught! Oh, there we go. Done it. Right, power down. Fantastic. Until next time. Oh gosh, that was stressful.